Hi, my fellow YouTube watching American Patriots. I'm back once again with our team members and agents who are working for the success of our team. We are true conservative Asian voice in America. In this video presentation, I would like to update all of you with new data, new information, new fresh news coming out from the Korean Peninsula after the abrupt end of the Hanoi summit, from which our President Trump walked away in glorious fashion, in glory as a sole victor. After the summit was terminated without bearing any result for Kim Jong-un himself, he went back to North Korea and he found out things got much worse than before the summit. He had a increasing number of North Korean Communist Party members who are complaining about what happened in the summit, and also he even had last week Thursday he had 35 members of North Korean military department trying to defect to China away from his dictatorship, brutal regime in the North Korea. So things are getting worse. The worst part is among the North Korean general public. People are told, they are told by Kim Jong-un's little cholos that another famine, another hungry period is coming. Period of hunger, starvation is coming, because the United States negotiating team was like a gangster in the Hanoi summit. They didn't want to accept any offer from the United States, from the North Korea, because they are like a gangster. They are like thieves. They're told all these lies about what happened in the Hanoi summit. Now, so what he's trying to do is he's trying to bring President Trump back to the negotiating table, because he's desperate. His country is running out of food, he's running out of oil, running out of money, and he has nothing to satisfy his followers, those guys who belong to North Korean Communist Party, who are sucking up to his pleasure. So now, Kim Jong-un, as he expressed in the roundtable meeting with President Trump, he said even 1 minute, he cannot even waste 1 minute. So he knows his country is running out of money, running out of food, and he's desperate. So he's got to choose between whether to press the nuclear button against the United States and South Korea, or he's got to bring President Trump back to the negotiating table. But President Trump he's not showing any of his willingness to come back to the negotiating table unless the North Korea decides to give up their nuclear ambition and all the nuclear artilleries and the armaments they have already developed in North Korea. So, to still poke the nerve of President Trump, Kim Jong-un has tried the following three things. Number one, he sent out Chae Sun-hee, the third person in rank among the North Korean negotiation team to call the United States negotiating team as gangster group. Well, we offered, she said, well, we offered good deal, but the United States negotiators were like gangs, thieves, robbers. They try to steal everything away from us without giving us any proper compensation for giving up our nuclear programs. But the whole world knows that was not the case. It was Kim Jong-un who did not give up his nuclear armaments, yet he wanted to have all the sanctions against his own nation lifted up. So he wanted to kill two birds with one stone by just lying. But it didn't work. And then she says, what, John Bolton, who is the national security advisor to President Trump, he called him, she said, John Bolton appeared like an Indian killer who killed the native Indians during the early U.S. settlement period. Now, that's showing that now North Korea is trying to play a racial card. Pathetic. And then the second thing, that didn't work. Sending out Chesani didn't work. Didn't do anything to bring President Trump back to the negotiating table. So the second thing Kim Jong-un did was he sent out Ri Yong-ho. He's the first guy, the highest ranked guy in the North Korean negotiating team, and have him announce the whole world that North Korea, if President Trump does not come back to the negotiating table, then North Korea will start diplomatic communication with Iran and Syria, and they will try to sell their nuclear artilleries, nuclear missiles, nuclear programs, and weapons of mass destruction like biological and chemical weapons to Iran and Syria. Well, they're trying to scare President Trump. They know that's exactly what President Trump has been trying to prevent North Korea from committing to doing. So, Rio guy came on World TV and he said, well, if President Trump doesn't come back to the negotiating table, we're going to sell our nuclear weapons and biological, chemical welfare weapons to countries like Iran and Syria. But once again, our President Trump did not even lift up his eyelid. He said, go ahead. All right. He remains silent without responding to what North Korea has tried to make him respond. So that didn't work. Now, after they saw their first two attempts failed, now Kim Jong-un, once again he dialed up Moon Jae-in, the evil anti-US president of South Korea, Moon Jae-in, to once again step in to the stage and asked him to go around in the Southeast Asian region and talk to leaders of those nations in their region, like Malaysia, Indonesia, Cambodia, Thailand, and a few other nations, and beg them to lift up the US and UN-led sanctions against North Korea. I thought South Korea had a bilateral alliance and military coalition with the United States. But Moon Jae-in, this guy, he has been working as a puppet. He has been a puppet and the major advocate for North Korea, for Kim Jong-un instead. Moon Jae-in has been going around and begging foreign leaders to help him lift up the United States and UN-led economic sanctions against North Korea. That is just direct violation of the sanctions imposed against the North Korean economy. South Korean government was caught doing ship-to-ship transferring of coals and pig irons that were mined in North Korea. They were trying to sell it to China, and somehow they had to smuggle them out from North Korea to China or to South Korea. And Moon Jae-in sent so many ships, transportation ships to North Korea. The sea near North Korea, and they were doing ship-to-ship transferring of the pig irons and coals mid-ocean, and got caught by the United States surveillance satellites. Mr. Trump, it's about time for us to impose a secondary boycott against the South Korean economy just because of Moon Jae-in's repeated violation of the sanctions. He needs to be taught a lesson hard way. We've been very nice, very generous to Moon Jae-in, but he seems not taking that lesson. He is being very arrogant, very stubborn in helping North Korea. President Trump, let me make you one suggestion. Why don't you put 45% tariff on all the Korean-made cars, South Korean-made cars like Kia, Hyundai, and why don't you take their money, right? Money we'll get from raising tariff on the Korean cars coming into the United States. Use that money to build the United States and Mexico border. You can make way more than $6 billion you need. Perhaps you will be able to make. Maybe you can make like 10 billion, 15 billion, 20 billion even. Why don't you take that money we can make from raising tariff on the South Korean automobiles coming into the United States and use that money to build the wall. Build that wall, Mr. Trump. Alright. My fellow American patriots, thank you for watching this video. I'll be back with next presentation very soon. See you later. See you soon.